Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am going to recommend you books based on the McDonald's menu. Can you tell that I'm either running out of ideas or I'm getting more brilliant ones? You can choose and pick. So today I'm going to recommend you books based on the McDonald's menu, the food that I have served there. I'm going to recommend you books based on it. I don't even know what books I picked out. I don't even know what I was thinking. We're just doing it. So just roll with the vibes. I have 3 books for each food item. I try to went for logical stuff. You can see if you agree or disagree with me. So first off we have the cheeseburger. You know, it's like the standard McDonald's, the standard like, it's what you think about when you go to McDonald's. You get cheeseburger. Like, until it gets lots of fancy stuff. So it's like the basic shit. So I tried to find some basic ass shit book. No, I'm joking. I'm actually just messing around because these are actually some of my favorite books. But they are basic and I will explain why. Like, why are they basic? You just see, like, they're like the basics for their genres in a way. Let's just talk about the books before I start talking nonsense, which I already started, but you get what I mean. I feel like all people will have read these books in this video, but we are rolling. So the first one I have here is The Final Empire, aka Mistborn, book 1. You understand what I mean by basic now? Who hasn't read Mistborn anyway? But it's just like a sample of its genre, a standard book within its genre. It's a perfect, I think, jump. One of the perfect jumps. If you read a lot of YA fantasy, you want to get into more adult fantasy, I feel like this is a really approachable and fun book to start with if you want to start more in the adult fantasy sphere, whatever we're calling it. I'm actually currently rereading this. Still one of the best books I ever read. By still, I mean like it's one of my favorite books I ever read. But for fantasy fans, you know that this is like a standard basic book, like a cheeseburger. But a cheeseburger is fucking good, okay? So you get what I mean. And this one follows the Final Empire, which is ruled by the world ruler and has been ruled for 1,000 years by him. This crew is gonna bring him down because he's like enslaved parts of the people. He's like ruling under an iron grip and he is not a good person. And he's basically a tyrant, obviously. And we follow this crew that is like amazing. Like they are the coolest and funniest people I have ever read about. They're gonna bring down the Lord Ruler. I struggle saying Lord Ruler right after one another. I don't know why. And the magicism is amazing. I feel like it's explained very well here. Like you get into the magicism so well of how Brandon Sanderson writes it. It is based on metal. You ingest metals. You either have one power or all of them. So if you have one power, you're a Mist-ing. But if you have all 8, you're a Mistborn. And we have our main character Wynne, who finds out that she is a Mistborn. She's lived like in the slums and it's been poor and terrible and abused her whole life, and now she's joining this crew of trusting people and finds that she's a Mistborn and learns to control her powers. And it's super cool like how the powers you ingest is like about metals, and all the powers is used on metals, for metals, with metals in a way. Not all of them, like you can kind of also use it on people, but it still has to do with metals, kind of, I mean, in a way. And it's just very cool, and like it sounds complicated, but it's explained so well in the books that you're not gonna think it's complicated anymore when you get into it. And other than awesome magic system, amazing characters, really cool fun plot, we have some of the best plot twists and like secrets and like things that you didn't think was a big deal ever. Like if you read the whole first area of Mistborn, your mind is just gonna be attached and mind blown, and it's just one of the best things. Re-listening to this now with like my friend who has like, she's read actually this before but not the rest. I'm just like noticing all the details so well of how like that's gonna mean things later, and it's just amazing. It is one of the best things I ever read. And yes, it is basic within its genre, but could not recommend more. Now for some more basic shit, we have A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which I feel like, again, who hasn't read A Darker Shade of Magic, which is again super standard basic shit you can recommend. One of my favorites as well. This is literally though the perfect book to start with if you want to start with adult fantasy. It's so easy to get into that, like it's perfect if you want to start with adult fantasy. But yeah, not all the books by the way in this video are adult fantasy. In this one we have 4 Londons, and the 4 Londons are Black London, which is dead, White London, which is like dying of magic, Grey London, which doesn't have any, and Red London, which is full of magic. And we follow Cal, who is from the Red London, and he can travel between them with blood magic. And we have also Lila, who is from Grey London with no magic. And then we shall see how this all comes together. There's this item that comes from Black London that kind of just threatens to rip all reality apart in a way, not reality but all London's apart, and you just learn about like these parallel worlds. It's really cool. I really love the characters and the magic system. It is one of my favorites. I literally actually have read, I think, this twice, and the rest of the books only one time each. It's been some years now. I kind of actually remember all the details, but I do really want to read them. And the sequel series for this is coming later this year, so it's the perfect time to pick them up if you still haven't. It is again super easy to get into, and while like maybe like a bit, I was gonna say like more basic in plot, it is just such a fun ride, and it's written really well. So I would very much recommend, and it fits perfect with a cheeseburger. And of course, I cannot make a recommendation video without an Amber and Ashes beside me here. This is a YA series. Again, I really like, I was gonna say standard, no one within its genre, but it's one of my favorites as well. And in this world, we have the Empire, which is controlling everything, and they have suppressed these people called the Scholars. And then we have Laya, who's a scholar whose family gets killed, her brother gets imprisoned, and then she's gonna spy on the commandant, so the rebellion will help her free her brother from prison. And it's really dangerous, not really going so well, we shall see. Now we have Elias with a mask. They are the most elite warriors, soldiers, assassins for the Empire, but he doesn't want to be a mask, he wants to escape, which is like if you get caught and you, like if you escape, you get caught and then you get killed. And then these two paths meet in a way. There's also magical trial and so many cool stuff. I think the story is just such a beautiful story in general. The way pieces come together is about love and friendship and just so much pain and heartache. And it has just some of the coolest, like I would say, like lore and like just legends and myths and just how it is all put together. It is one of my favorites. It is such a beautiful story. I love it really dearly, and it's making me want to reread it when talking about it. And again, a bit of like a standard one because it's been out for quite a few years now. Most people I think have heard about it, but I feel like not a lot of people have read it, and they should. So that is why it's here. And get that cheeseburger and get to read Amber and Ashes. We have, you know, we had a cheeseburger, we are good, and now, you know, the next step is to get a Big Mac. I will literally in this video realize I never had a Big Mac because I don't like ketchup, but obviously you can order without it, but I only just order a cheeseburger, or order 2 cheeseburgers and never order a Big Mac. Maybe I have one? I don't know. It's really weird to think about when I talked in this video now. But yeah, we are stepping up. We are stepping up the game. We need bigger and better. Obviously, these books, as I said, I feel like I'm like shaming the books I just talked about because they're only a cheeseburger, but it's literally my favorite books, okay, I swear. But I see that they're like really well known. And the next ones are super well known as well. I'm just literally taking the opportunity to talk about my favorite books. But they're just like, they're stepping up the game. Like, you stepping up the game with upgrading to a Big Mac. So we're gonna recommend more books. For that, I first have The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, because again, I love fantasy, so that's why we are here apparently. And this one is based a lot upon like actually Chinese history. And we have Rin, who is very poor and don't want to marry this old gross dude. So she takes this super advanced exam to get into the only free school in her country, which is Sinagard, which is like a military academy, and then war breaks out, so she actually needs to go to war. And that also has to do with like gods and powers, and I'm explaining the book very badly, but it is such a brutal book. You are gonna be heartbroken. It is also, as I said, very brutal in details of like rape, death of babies, etc. And it like really shows the precautions of war, and it is terrible, but it's so good. And it's a lot about losing control and just living in this world with a very interesting, I was gonna not even call it a magic system, very interesting ways to get magic, and just how it's gonna blow your mind over the things that are gonna happen. You don't think it's gonna go that far, it is gonna go that far, and it's gonna break your heart and be literally terrible, but it's gonna be one of the best things you ever read. It is so good and heart-wrenching. I'm so excited to reread this kind of soon, hopefully, with all the audiobook rereading I'm doing right now, and just be wrenched apart once again. I'm very excited, and I will never ever stop recommending this. I also realized even when filming this that I have like almost all my favorite books in there, but there's so many I'm missing as well because there's too many books, just saying. And then we have Jade City by Fonda Lee, which I obviously also need to have here. We're stepping up the game here, you know. And this one is set on this island where they have jade, which is like a substance people can take in and use to enhance their like different abilities. Only certain people can do this without like getting addicted or die from it. And then we have these 2 clans that control the island, and they're like trying to control like jade, etc. And they go to war with each other in a way, you shall see. So they're trying to control the jade, and we follow the Call family, who is like for the No P clan, which is the clan we are following. And they are everything. They are everything in the world and my heart, and I will cry. And it just follows literally this family that is like trying to like, you know, expand abroad and like trying to live in this climate where like it's like honor. It's basically, as the author has described it before, like Godfather Kung Fu, but it is just so good. I don't think I can make it justice even just talking about it. Just the characters, the writing, the plot, it is just amazing. So well thought through, so well written. I cannot ever recommend this so much. Like, it's one of my favorite books of all time. Even though I have a hard time picking between Papa War and Jade City, like I cannot pick between them. But yeah, just amazing. And if you want to step up with that Big Mac, this is what you need. Again, still on the Big Mac, and we have 5th season by Untitled Chapter, which basically is set into a world where every so often there's these seasons happening to the land where like everything just goes to shit. There's like earthquakes or freezing or plague, etc. And like humans need to resettle, and it starts off with a new season starting. We follow our main character Esun, who's son was just killed by her husband, and her daughter has been taken by him as well, and she's following them. And it's all like from second person in that point of view, where like he's saying like you go onto this journey to find your daughter. And then we also got kind of a background of like how the society has worked for a long time, and like the powers that people have in this society, because there are people in this society that can kind of feel and control the earth, and people blame them for these seasons, even though like kind of they are more helping stopping the seasons than everything else. And then we like follow their system of like how they work as well, and we get like other point of views, and it's just amazing. It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna be a super good ride. There's how Uncle Jemison built this world is not unlike anything I ever read, and just how it all comes together like in the trilogy. It's like sometimes I think about that and I'm just like, even reading this now and seeing the hints of it, and it's gonna blow your mind, and it's not gonna be what you expect at all. The only thing I need for this is to get special editions with better covers, but it's just one of the best things I ever read. It's so well written and so well thought through. I feel like I said that about everything here, but yeah, I just feel like more people need to read them, because it's just such a cool fantasy series that it is just so good. And the characters, again, it's gonna wrench your heart. Enjoy. And now we're going to apparently the most sold thing on McDonald's, which is french fries, or pom-poms as I like to call them. And you know, this is like, you want small bites. You wanna sit there and like take one bite. I don't know anyone who takes the whole thing in the mouth. I mean, some people probably do that as well if they're really hungry, but you want to just like sit there and dip it in whatever sauce you like with your french fries and enjoy life. So I was trying to like slow the pace down a bit, finding books that you maybe don't want to read in one sitting, or like maybe you do but you still like take in like the small bits and see how it all comes together in a full story. So let's recommend more books. I did take the excuse to take Schwab here twice in this video. So we have Vicious by V. Schwab, which I feel like is a story you want to see come together. And in this one we have Extraordinaries, which is people with powers, and you can only get the power while almost having a near-death experience. So basically your heart needs to stop and you need to be dead and then brought back to life to get powers. I don't know if everyone who has this experience get powers, but like this is how you need to get them. We follow these two eccentric students, Eli and Victor, who does this on purpose to try to get powers. And then we also follow them 10 years later, where they're basically just running around trying to kill each other. They're also very much in love, thank you very much, and they just try to kill each other. We follow the villains. We follow not the good people. They go around killing people. They are terrible, and this is like the whole point of the story. Like we follow the bad guys. Like they have superpowers, but they are the bad guys, and just seeing how the powers are being used, how smart Schwab was with like giving them for powers, how smart he was with this timeline of like revealing stuff, because it's so like back in the day and also 10 years later, like present day, and it's just very interesting how this is done. And I just feel like this is a story you need to give it a bit of a chance for it to start. Even though like for me, I was completely hooked in the beginning, but I know also like it takes a bit of time for the pieces to come together, but when it does, you're there, you are addicted, and that's what you need with french fries, because you might not be in the mood for the french fries, but when you start eating them, you cannot stop, and that's what you need here. I know I said it's not only fantasy here, but there's a lot of fantasy here. I'm not even sorry. We have The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, which again is a story you want to take in nitbits, because this one follows a main character. It's been a while since I read this now, but it's one of my favorites. And it follows a main character who's, I have forgotten his name, Zachary. And he reads a book about himself in a library. And he's just like, this has happened to me. How can this be in a book? And then he goes out to start his journey of trying to find out why he could read about a book about himself, about the experience he's having. And it's just a story that comes together, and it's just like, it will blow your mind. It is so beautiful. It feels like, I don't even know, like the writing is just, it reminds me of like a lot of like Lady Taylor's writing, and just how it comes together. And it's just such a beautiful, like kind of a mystery, but just magicalness, and just like, I was gonna say, finding the Starless Sea. It was just so good and amazing and beautiful. It's very much a story that warms your heart as well, but at the same time just being this really cool story. And it's like, again, something you want to take in its bits and like see it all come into place. And again, fits really, really, really well. And then we have Sadie by Courtney Summers, which is not a fantasy book, but I will very much recommend it for the franchise, because this is a mystery where we have Sadie who has disappeared, and then we follow her path and like her story of like, she's going after sister, she's trying to find her, and then we follow Sadie, like, I was gonna say investigating, on this journey. Then we follow this dude who has this podcast who is like investigating into Sadie's disappearance, and we follow him following Sadie. And if you listen to the audiobook, I have 2 different narrators and like kind of a narrator for every person I talk to, etc. It is very, very interesting how the audiobook was done. It's done so well, but it's basically told like in different like formats. We have like iPhone, like they talk to each other here, like in that format, and then we have Sadie, which is like normal prose. And just the audiobook is so good. And it's, again, as a story you obviously could read in one sitting. It is quite short, and it's also, you know, contemporary, but it is just a story you also want to take in bits to like kind of unravel this mystery and see where it takes you. And it's just done really, really well, and I very much enjoy it. And I still think about it. I kind of want to reread it, even though like the ending feels a bit like, I don't want to say more, but it feels a bit like, but I still feel like it wasn't a terrible ending either. And it is like something you want to hook in and take with you on a ride. I think it is just done really, really well. Okay, so now you're eating your french fries, you're chilling. I realized like I don't expect you to actually eat all this food in one go, but when I order McDonald's, I order quite a lot because I just like to shove it all in my face, which probably isn't healthy, but yay. Because we do also want some chicken nuggets. Because chicken nuggets, I think, personally, is the best thing in the menu. That doesn't mean that these are the best books. It just means that these are stuff you want to enjoy. You want to savor. I mean, you want to do that with all of these as well, but I don't know. Okay, I'm trying to make this make sense. It doesn't make any sense no matter what I do. So these are basically stuff that is just very addicting, and just you're doing it for pure enjoyment and just like pure, I was gonna say, addiction, and just being like, aha. So like, obviously these books are amazing as well, but I feel like they need to hook you in and like keep you going, because like chicken nugget is addictive. You start with one, you keep going, but it's not like a small one, like a french fry. So like, you want to take the french fries was in tidbits. This is just like you shove them in and they need to keep you hooked, like a chicken nugget. And for that, I'm starting with The Darkness Outside Us by Ella Terrefer. This one I read for my book club, and it basically followed these dudes in space who's going on this mission. And I don't want to say more, but the way that you want to keep reading for this, you want to keep eating those chicken nuggets, because you are not going to believe what's going to come into place here. It is just done so well. They're on a ship in space. I don't want to say more. It sounds like nothing, but it's going to be like, So I just had such a good time with this. I keep still thinking about this book, and I feel like it fits well for chicken nuggets, because again, it needs to hook you in. It is gonna hook you in, and you just need to read it to understand what I'm talking about. So go and read it, okay? Then we have like the most hyped book in the universe, and that is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. And I reread this very recently, and it is so good and fun. And again, it is gonna hook you in. You are gonna be there for the ride, because you are just gonna be invested to know what the heck is gonna happen in this. So here we follow Jude, who is a human living and growing up in the fairy world, because her sister's father killed her mother and her father, so he needs to take them to fairy to take care of them, and everything there is trying to kill her. We also have this Prince Carden, who is very, very cool to her, and stuff happens. She just wants to find safety and security in this fairy world, but will she find it or will she only find that? You need to read it to figure it out. I feel like it's been tainted by its hype, but it's actually just such a solid read. It is so addicting. You are into the story so much. Like, there's betrayal and just like plotting and betrayal upon that other betrayal, and you're just sitting there like, oh my god, like it is gonna give you a ride. And like, seriously, I really enjoyed it the first time I read it. I think I even enjoyed it more now because I kind of like, I've been clowning myself of how much I really like it. It is just such an addicting and enjoyable book, just like a chicken nugget. So go and enjoy, okay? Then we have Iron Widow by Xian J. Shao. This one is gonna hook you in so much. So we have our main character who live in this world where they are kind of in this war that control like these huge mecha bots in a way, and to have those work, there's a dude controlling it, and then there's a woman going in there with him. And every time a woman goes in there with them, she dies. And this happened to our main character's sister. So she's going after the dude that used her sister and then kill him instead. So she's going through this revenge mission, and then you need to see what happens. I thought that this was going to go in a certain direction because it's kind of something you heard about before. No, it is going to do whatever it wants. And it's gonna hook you in because you want to know what is gonna happen. You want to know, like, you're gonna be shocked. Just like the others I talked about here, you're gonna be shocked. And you just need to read the whole thing, like with the others as well. The chicken nuggets, you just gotta eat all of them. I don't know if a surprise will happen in the end when you read all the chicken nuggets. Maybe when you go to the bathroom. But other than that, just eat all the chicken nuggets. I feel like these... it's gonna be so delicious. I actually kind of literally want chicken nuggets now when I'm talking about it, but that's a standard for another day. Seriously though, like, this is gonna hook you so much, and you're gonna be like, yes, that was me. One of the most surprising books I read. Now that you've eaten all that food, you kind of want a dessert. And then I usually go for a McFlurry. I don't know, is that a thing everywhere? I don't know. But we are going with a sundae, which is like, you know, like just ice cream with like the sauce thing on. And we're going with sweets and calm and cozy stuff, because that is what we want for our sundae. We want that for our dessert after going through all this. Let's just recommend some sweet books, okay? Obviously could not make this video without Daria the Great Is Not Okay by Coram. This is one of my favorite contemporaries ever, and we follow Darius, who is not okay because he's quite depressed. I feel like he can't talk to his dad, he feels really distant from the people around him, and then his grandpa gets sick and his family travels to Iran to be with him, and he just feels really disconnected from his family and his community. But at the same time, he finds friendship for the first time, and there's just so beautiful moments in this. It's just the family, the friendship, my tears, my eyes. It is just so beautiful, and it's still one of my favorites. I cried like a child reading this for the first time, and I'm not saying that you know, need to cry with your dessert, but this is worth all the tears. And it's gonna make you feel happy and sweet, and it also has a sequel, which is also amazing. I don't understand how the author did it. And just read this, and it's the best dessert you could have. Then we have With Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. This one follows Amoni, who has a daughter, and she's only a teen. She has a 5-year-old daughter, 2-year-old daughter, whoops. That was a bit different. Actually, if she was 5, then she would have gotten her so young. So it makes sense that she's 2. She's living with her grandma, and she's just trying to provide for her daughter and her family. And it was just so amazing. She also loves to cook food, and it warms my heart. This is what you want for your dessert, because this is just such a beautiful book. Did it make me cry? I don't even know, but it was just so hooking and beautiful, and just caught all my heartstrings in this beautiful story of just family and her just doing her best. And it's just one of the best things I ever read, and it was just an ultimate favorite at once. I just realized now talking about it, I never reread it, which I definitely now need to do, and I think I'm gonna love it even more now actually. And again, just recommend it wholeheartedly. It is sweet, it is beautiful, it just gives you hope and humanity, and it's what you want from dessert, from all this trauma I just giving you. I'm so sorry. And then we have You Should See Me in the Crown by Leah Johnson. So this one is a story following Liz, who wants to go to this college, but that is very, very expensive. And then there is this prom queen thingy in her town, and like the winner gets like a lot of money. So she signs up to that and starts to promote herself as the next prom queen. And it is just such a beautiful story. She's also very much gay, and it just brings out so much joy in me. It was just so fun and cute, and I was just sitting at the bus stop reading this, and it just warmed my heart from the inside, and I just felt fussy and just I almost cried as well. I feel like this is the perfect like movie for teens that should be made into a movie, because it just have all the great moments you want from something like that. And it was just everything. It was everything I needed. It matches me a bit. It's purple, and I loved it a lot, and I would recommend this so much. So seriously, people just need to read it. It just makes you happy when you read it, and that's what you want when you want to read. I mean, a lot of the books I recommended you, it's not gonna make you happy, but again, this is the therapy you need after the rest. I'm not actually saying you need to read it in a decent order. I'm trolling. Am I? I don't know. Now, that was all for the Sunday, but we have one more thing. We have the Happy Meal, and no, I'm not just recommending middle grade for that. I'm recommending one middle grade for that. But the Happy Meal, I never had one before, I feel like. But a Happy Meal is happiness, and just you want the cozy stuff. So that this was like the sweet stuff, you know. Now you want the cozy stuff. So I don't know, sometimes people just order Happy Meals for themselves because it's fun and cozy. This is the fun and cozy books that you also want. I don't know if you bring a child, but I'm not saying that children should read this book. I mean, they could, but a Happy Meal we want on the menu as well, because it's cute. So let's just do some cute books. I mean, the other ones were also cute. You get what I mean. For the cozy vibes of a Happy Meal, because it's going to bring back the good childhood memories when your parents didn't bother making you dinner. And that is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. And this one follows this orc who's going to start and open this coffee shop, which is just, it's just a cozy fantasy. It's just coffee shop, and how it's going to try to be successful. And just love, and just that's all it is. And it is the vibes. It is so well written and just so fun and good, and it's just a novel of high fantasy and low stakes. It's no stakes in it at all almost. It's just coziness and goodness and rebuilding your trust in others, and just so beautiful. Perfect for a Happy Meal, because it's going to make you happy and good, because it's a Happy Meal. Enjoy. And I feel like I cannot talk properly about anything right now, but I hope you like seriously believe when I said that this was just so good and happy. Then another one that I feel like fits really well is Wicked Fox by Cat Cho. And in this one we follow Agumiho, who loses her like magical bead, and Agumiho needs to eat humans to like stay young and beautiful forever. And she uses her spirit bead that this dude picks up, that I know I've forgotten the name of, but it is set in Korea, Seoul. And then we have these two characters. It's very much like a K-drama, and it's just really funny and cute, and also of course woven in with so much Korean mythology. And it is just, it makes you happy and good, and sad parts happen but good stuff happen. It is just a very fun setup book that, again, it's very perfect for a Happy Meal. I think the chaoticness kinda literally the perfect like K-drama moment where like someone sits on like with an umbrella and it's sad, and then the dude just shows up randomly, and it's just done so well. It is hilarious and good, and just such a good time for a Happy Meal. Just saying. The edition I have is like, it's like falling apart from the rim, and I haven't even read in it. I think it was just broken from the get-go. It's just gonna fall apart. I need someone to glue this. Either way, the dramatic vibes you're getting from this though, it's perfect, and very much, again, recommend. I kind of want to reread this as well. Dang it, I just want to reread everything forever. That one actually middle grade, and the last book for this video is Furthermore by Tara Mafi. This one is kind of an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and we are set in it where everyone is colorful, but we have Alice who is colorless, and then she needs to go kind of on this mission that everyone needs to go to when they're a certain age. She gets a mission, or does she? You should find out. And it's just so whimsical and fun. I didn't know that I was gonna love this so much, like just how the story was set up, and just how the main character deals with all of this, and it was just so original and chaotic and fun, and that's exactly what you want for a Happy Meal. Seriously, it made me super happy. It made me feel heartwarm and heartfelt, and just how things came together. It was just very much what I enjoy in a Millie Rain in a story. Again, kind of want to reread right now, of course I do, and just didn't know that I was gonna love this as much, and it was everything I expected it to be. Not. It was just so fun. Seriously, it was so fun. And again, I think perfect for Happy Meal. I feel like I locked my way of speaking in this video and that I just repeat myself over and over. But seriously recommend this. All the vibes. It's great. That was all the books you needed for your McDonald's meal, and I feel like I hit some of the vibes quite well. You might disagree, but I think I did. So now you have some great books that you can open and read that I explained very, very well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out my Patreon down below if you want to support my channel further, and you should see me soon in a new video. Goodbye!